This episode is sponsored by Fidia. Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure you follow the African Creator Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms.
What's up, guys? How are you doing today? It's Aina here again, and in front of me is Wande Thomas.
Yo.
And today we're here to discuss how being an influencer can be overhyped. So, do you think influencers are overhyped?
Some of them are.
Which ones? Am I overhyped?
No, you're not. You
just
give
saying that
value. This is a very tricky topic for me because
it's not tricky for me. I love controversy.
I'm a bit biased, right?
Okay.
I don't think it's because I prefer one type of influencer over the other. I think it's just boils down to the particular influencer and the value they create. So I like some influencers that, like you, who give like content that is almost documentary style level. And then I like some influencers that, just take pictures, but have like maybe a great eye for detail or a great eye for aesthetic and a reason behind it.
What would you even say your definition of an influencer? Because this word influencer, people use it a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like an influencer these days, I feel like an influencer should be somebody who kind of like inspires people in a specific direction.
Yeah.
For maybe like in a specific direction, more or less. I think I just have to leave it open-ended like that. But I feel these days it's more like influencers kind of like seen as this celebrity type people who have this power where it's like, definitely they have power, but they are just like seen like this celebrity type thing. Okay. And I don't really know if...
I think influencers are people. Obviously, the word means one thing, but like in 2022's definition, influencers are people who have a good, healthy social media following and are able to impact or attract advertising to influence basically the amount of people that follows them. So basically, a lot of brands or a lot of people or business interests look to influencers to help take their products or their services to that particular audience, right? I think influencers are the future the present of advertising, right? So we had traditional advertising, which was TV, radio, billboards. We have traditional advertising, which was print, radio, then traditional advertising, which is now TV, and then what used to be known as digital advertising, but is, which was basically people shooting commercials and things bought for social media, is slowly becoming ancient as well. And a lot of brands, due to the economy, due to COVID and the comfort of shooting, kind of realized that, I think using influencers might be a bit easier and cost effective. Yeah. So when you look at the biggest influencers / creators on the Nigerian space, you have, the Brother Shaggies, you have the Macaronis and all of them. And these guys are basically mini production companies now because of their influence, but also the quality of their work and the audience they attract every week. They get this attention from brands and make even more money than some production companies who just are set out for advertising. So I would say influencing is the now, but it's also the future of advertising.
Give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode. It's a company called Fidia, which is a great company for creators out there.
Absolutely amazing company. Fidia is basically for the African creators. Obviously, that there are a lot of companies out there who enable creators earn for their work, but a lot of the time we've had problem with monetizing, especially for the African continent and for African creators.
I've had a lot of problems with monetizing.
Exactly. Fidia basically is the solution for that. It helps African creators showcase their work, but also kind of help monetize their work, especially to those people who support them. So they have a new feature introducing the Creator Profile 2.0, a free link in bio website builder for creators that allows creators to create a one-page website to showcase their work, grow, and get paid from anywhere in the world without writing a single line of code. And if you check on the African creator bio, it's been created with the Fidia creator profile, so check that out.
And they also have product pages. With the product pages, creators can easily set up a product page to sell their digital products such as ebook, design files, templates, image, graphics, digital ads, tools, preset, brushes, beats, sample packs, etc. and get paid faster without needing a complicated e-commerce website. I think for me, one of the ways or one of the things that I think I'll be using Fidia for is to sell my course.
Yep.
I have a digital course that I created to help people learn how to use YouTube. And Fidia is going to help me sort that out. Fidia is also introducing referrals, which is a way to earn money by referring other creators. Get your friends or fellow creators to create a Fidia account using your referral code and earn 1,000 naira when they link their bank account and receive a transaction of at least 1,000 naira. So guys, if you want to check out Fidia, check out the links in the description. We have all the links there. You can check out Fidia by going to getfidia.com.
And thank you, Fidia, for sponsoring this episode. Now, I think where the line gets drawn is how do you really define an influencer, right? And what I mean by that is that an influencer, there are different genres of influencers, right? I think one of the most popular ones in our space is comedy.
Yeah, comedy.
I think comedy is like where so honestly, sometimes I wish I could do comedy skits.
I wish I could do comedy skits sometimes because I'm like, if I was doing comedy,
a lot of money.
I would need to travel. I would need to spend all that money on I would just need to just produce. And I can actually produce a lot. Yeah. And I feel like also comedians' growth, the speed of growth is the fastest across all creators or across all influencers. Once you make comedy, your growth, because people need entertainment. It's entertainment,
yes.
So it cuts across the age group and the age gap. Something that is funny to a 19-year-old, it's funny to a 30-something-year-old, it's funny to a 50-something-year-old too. So it cuts across everybody.
I use this example all the time. If you're using YouTube, sign out of your YouTube account and look on the first page of your YouTube. That shows basically all the videos trending in Nigeria or in your location in any given period of 24 hours. And most of it is comedy videos. Yeah. And this has also made the influencers kind of step up their game, right? So I look at some of these skits right now. Sydney Tucker is a great example. Yeah. There's a guy called Shank Comics. Yeah. There's another. There's Macaroni. Obviously,
there's this guy that is always Sydney Tucker. The black guy.
Yeah.
Fuck. I can't remember his name.
I've forgotten his name too.
Yeah.
But what?
Nasty Black.
Thank you, Victor, behind the camera. So, basically, these guys, now that they see the kind of money they're attracting, they've been forced to increase their value proposition.
And they are actually attracting a lot of money. I spoke to a very popular influencer who is also in the comedy space, and I was hearing some numbers about the deals that some of these guys are making. And these days, even on Instagram and the rest, we have some influencers posting that they bought Benz or some of these comedy people, and people like, really, how much are you people making? That is a lie. I'm like, you people don't know how much these guys charge for these kids because of the number of people they reach. If someone like Sydney Tucker makes a video, within a day, it hits over 1 million people. How much, if as a brand, that your product is going to reach 1 million people, what other places would you rather spend your marketing dollars than with these people? And when you do that, when someone like that does that 3, 4, 5 times, that's enough to buy a Benz. Benz is even the smallest thing to even buy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So but going back to what we're actually talking about, what this whole episode is about, I think there's a part where, for me, it's there are the real influencers who are actually really doing the work, and then I think they are also either a subset, or I think maybe there's a line between the two where this whole influencer lifestyle is over romanticized and is also overhyped. It's also this whole celebrity status. Yeah, and I think I have a different view on that because me right from time I never see people come to me and be like, oh, like you're popular now, you have so subscribers. I'm like, I don't care, man. I just want to just wake up and do my thing.
First of all, that's a lie. So Tayo, Tayo and I went for an event a bit ago, and I was, sometimes when somebody has been your guy for a while, you just, hey, I know Tayo is a great guy, but damn, the amount of people and people were reaching out to him on maybe it's because there was a lot of alcohol too in the air, but people were reaching out to him on an emotional thing man, so what you're doing is so important, man. Like oh bro, man, oh my God, but it was crazy, right? So please, Tayo, no fake community here.
No, so that happens, and I think these days I'm used to it because it happens, and people are like, they walk up to me and be like, oh yeah, I love your work, but I still see myself as I've always seen myself. Like I will still do today, even in my videos, the next day I might go to some very remote village in somewhere and I will eat the normal random ass food and I just want to be normal. I don't want to be on this person they put on this pedestal. Because when you do that, then it's a lot of pressure on you. And then you have to now start living your life even in a way that might not even be the way you are. So you start to change yourself. Oh, okay, now I'm a celebrity. Okay, so I can't eat in these places. I can't wear this kind of clothes. I can't talk to this kind of people. Then you sort of put yourself on this pedestal. I feel like anything that goes up comes down, man.
So I think the main thing now, right, with our topic is basically people who are attracted to the lifestyle but don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's the major problem. Like I said, this is not a memorandum on any form of influencing. I think every form of influencing has its merits.
Yeah,
right?
true.
There are influencers that do all the magic and overproductions. There are influencers that literally just take, like I said, Instagram pictures, but are able to identify aesthetics and colors and fashion and whatever and attract fashion and people and all of that, but there's the in between where people see the final product and are not willing to put in the work. And I think, far be it for us to judge anybody, but I think that has a strong effect on the influencing sector.
Yeah, true. And I think to add to what you were saying, it's also I think the topic of this is how the influencer lifestyle is over. It's like what everybody wants to do now.
Yes.
Even when a lot of people might not even be passionate about it. Yeah. So they eventually come into this space and then many times they can put out mediocre work or stuff like that and then it affects the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I feel like do you feel like it has been the influencer ecosystem is being over romanticized because of how much a lot of people feel like they can make money from it?
I think so because, like I said, I feel like it's like when it's like when Wizkid blew, right, and a lot of people wanted to become musicians, right? A lot of young people wanted to become musicians. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But statistically, there's a very small percentage of people who will make it as a musician.
Yeah, very few.
Everybody has the right to try, but if you're not putting in the right amount of effort, then why are you really doing it? And I think...
And if what is driving you to is also not something real and pure.
So in Nigeria, one thing I've quickly noticed is that we are very attracted to that lifestyle, that glamour, that bling.
I think it's everywhere, actually.
It is, but I think with our society, it is the end all be all. Like it is the thing that motivates everybody. It's in our music, it's in our culture, it's in our habits. It's like you make one small money, you don't already. You need to, Bugatti. Like you have literally,
even the song,
literally, you have to. Your shoulder has to puff up a little bit, and. What that does now is that people don't understand the amount of work that goes into being a successful creator. Yeah. I have an analogy that nobody is successful by mistake, good or bad, right? If they're good, they've had to put in hard work to get to that success. Even if they're bad and corrupt, they've had to put in like
Yeah,
trust me,
definitely. They have to put in a lot
right?
of
Like
work.
if you if you ever know like even a Yahoo boy,
Yeah, he has to put in
there's
a lot of work.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of work
A
that
lot
they
of
have to
work,
put in
yeah.
to make that money
That
they
money,
make,
yeah, true.
right? So the hard work cannot be negated, right? And this is not an endorsement for that, but like saying that basically, if there's now a gap of people who already begin to now live that life without putting in the work. And why that is important is because now that starts to, I'm trying to connect it to brands.
Yeah.
Brands what influencers, and now they find it hard to discern who the
Real
real
influencers,
influencers are from the fake ones.
I even feel like sometimes I feel, when I look at the social media space, I feel like a lot of people who call themselves influencers are not really influencers. The influencing is just kind of like a cover up for somewhere else that they also get their money from.
Yes.
And I feel that also robs off a lot of the real people who are actually doing the work.
Exactly.
And makes it even harder for brands to decide kind of like who to pick. And eventually, when those brands pick the wrong people, who don't
They get
eventually,
burnt. Yeah.
when they get burned, then they now
And
feel like
they say
it's the whole
so
influencing
that is
space.
that's where I was going. So basically, look at it from this point of view. You see that, like I said, brands have realized that influencers might be a more effective way to get to their final customer.
Yeah.
But now, what they don't also know is that social media is a scary place.
Yeah.
A scary place where a lot of people who haven't done the work go and buy followers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then they put out a campaign on the person's page and they see that only 40 people like
this.
post.
Even this, what's that thing they call verification? People pay for that shit now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very tricky, and I think there are certain things that you have to look out for when engaging an influencer. Right, obviously looking at the level of engagement, and it has to go deeper than just likes. It has to go into comments and kind of consistency, right? As much as people would buy followers and buy ticks and everything, there's a way you can notice a trend,
Yeah.
of an influencer, especially if they've been doing it for a while, in terms of just their likes to what do you call it, post ratio,
yeah.
their comments to likes ratio and
Yeah.
all of that. I think those are things that brands can look out for when trying to pick the right influencer. Also picking influencers that are relevant to their niche.
True.
Because sometimes it could be a genuine influencer, but maybe you go to a makeup influencer and you're trying to sell cameras. It won't translate.
It don't translate.
you
True.
know? So that is for the brand side. From the
Creator side.
From the creator side,
Yeah.
you need to understand. I mean, I think you can speak better to this because I'm not an influencer. I'm behind the camera. I'm behind the scenes. But I think there's a lot of work that goes into becoming an influencer and a creator.
Yeah,
And you can talk about some of them.
There's definitely a lot of work. Like I feel like, as for myself, as somebody in the travel space, a lot of people see me traveling to all these multiple countries, and they feel like, every time I'm traveling, they feel like, oh, you're on vacation. It's like your work is you being on vacation. But I'm like, I've never even really got to experience travel the way normal people would get to experience travel. Because if I land in a really beautiful location, let's even say I go to Maldives today or whatever, and yeah, everywhere is beautiful, but I would not, as I land, I have to start making videos. I'm shooting till I leave. I'm making content till I leave. So I rarely ever get time to like land there and relax like the way other people would do. And that's why even most of the time, even my Instagram, I rarely post stuff on it, because most of the time it's just the video part. So being a travel influencer, or whatever they call it, it's a lot of work. Like, it's actually a whole lot of work, because it's not really as romantic as people see it. Sometimes I go to places and I'm like burnt out. I'm like, can't I just sit down, just chill? But you have to work, because every day you're spending money. You're paying for hotels. You paid for a flight to get there. It's so expensive. It's also very expensive. That's another thing I didn't mention. It's expensive to be like a travel influencer. So I feel like if you want to like become like an influencer, you have to be ready. You have to know that you're trying to run a business. And you have to look at it from that angle, and not look at it as, oh, I just want to be a celebrity, and people will be like, oh, and your goal should even be more of like delivering value. like even traveling to these places, okay, why should people care about the fact that you went to Maldives? Is it just a nice picture you just want to post and just be like, oh yeah, like I've been here, you've not been here, and just raise your shoulder up? No, it doesn't. That doesn't really do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
But if you go to places and you're like, okay, I need to create this value. Okay, maybe I need to tell people about the experience, or maybe I need to, give people information about how they can come to this place and spend maybe lesser money or something valuable to people. Then that should be the direction. It should always be value.
Yeah.
Because it should always be value driven. Because at the end of the day, that's even one of the only ways like brands can even plug into you when it's value driven. So yeah, I feel so. That's how I feel like people should come at it, from being like a creator and influencer, and less of like just because you just want people to just hype you up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important what you said. It seems like the low hanging fruit. Like I said, like. When Whiskey Blue, everybody wants to be a musician.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we're in a tech era where everybody thinks, they can just hammer by putting out any tech product. And I think influencing is that as well. But please understand that there's a lot of work that goes into it. Please understand that there are people who are, and this is not it's not a referendum on anybody not trying. I think you should try. But just understand that it is tough, and a lot of people start because they're passionate about it, and that is most of the time. That's what's going to sustain you for the first few years.
Before you start making any money.
Before you start making any money. So please understand that. I guess.
I also feel too. I think to just add like a last thing to it. I also feel like even as being on a journey as an influencer or whatever, I feel like you should still, keep an open mind and also have kind of like the same spirit of why you started and when you started it, because that keeps you open-minded to learn. But I feel like a lot of people, especially people who have seen some amount of success, they kind of like close themselves up when they get this whole celebrity status, and they're no more open to maybe doing collabs with other people, or they're no more up to associating with other upcoming influencers. And the funny thing is, the grassroots is really where it happens. By the time you're up there, you don't really see you don't really get a pulse of what's really going on in the distance. So you have to be open-minded and be open to learning from even people that are not as big as you.
It's simple. I think I've said it on this podcast before. Look at Drake and look at Davido. Drake, in the global sense of things, has years where he doesn't put out music, but because he features with the next upcoming person, keeps himself relevant. Davido does the same thing. Davido only put out one single last year, but is one of the highest streamed African artists of 2021. And most of that happened because of features with younger, upcoming people. So collaboration is very key. The higher you go, the more you need to collaborate, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you grounded.
Gee.
Yeah.
Nice.
Drops mic.
Dave Chappelle. So guys, you want to close up?
Okay. Guys, thank you for watching another episode of The African Creator. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We love making this for you. This has been an amazing season so far. I think we've had a lot of deep conversations, and I look forward to having a lot more. Thanks for our sponsors, Fidia, for sponsoring this episode. And we look forward to bringing you guys a lot more content. So like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I think it's very important. Your like and your subscriptions really help.
And your
comments help the algorithm know that you mess with us. So thank you for messing with us, and peace out.
The word messing though.